We've got the Rivian R1T, an electric pickup truck.
Take it easy on me, Andrea. Take it easy on me, Andrea. Take it easy on me.
I know, I said to Zach I would. Okay, that's what you get with over 800 horsepower.
Yeah, but one thing you got to remember, I was just thinking about this, all these big numbers around horsepower and torque for a pickup truck. First thing you do, you have to overcompensate for the size of the battery.
Yep,
so
for
you need a lot more power and torque just because the thing's so heavy. It's a bit of a laundry list. Let's get into all the different configurations.
The R1T is available with 3 all-wheel drive systems. Dual motor has up to 643 kilometers, 400 miles of range, 600 horsepower, and 600 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds.
Then there's the Performance Dual-Motor with 644 kilometers or 400 miles of range, 700 horsepower, 700 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds.
The Quad-Motor with 528 kilometers, 328 miles of range, 835 horsepower, and 903 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds.
There are 3 battery packs, standard, large, and max, and you can configure them with the different dual or quad motors. Our test unit is the Quad-Motor model with the large battery pack, 528 kilometers or 328 miles of range in Rivian Blue with 20-inch wheels and all-terrain tires.
Now, usually we mention the battery size. We reached out to Rivian to find out what that was for the different packages. And Rivian said, well, we don't disclose that information. So you may find different sizes online, but they are not the official numbers from Rivian.
I have a theory on this. I think there's one battery pack they make, and then they basically throttle it back through software for how much you get, how much power, and how much reserve. I think that's what they're up to. That's just a guess. All right, let's get into what do you get with this R1T?
The R1T comes with a 16-inch touchscreen, a wireless charger, leatherette upholstery, natural grained ash wood interior trim, power front seats, heated and ventilated front seats, driver and passenger lumbar adjustment, a heated steering wheel, heated rear seats, and Rivian Elevation Audio by Meridian.
There were so many different configurations on this, from all-purpose to sport conserve, but we can put it in what, Andrea?
Gotta put it in S for subscribe, and if you can hit that notification bell, you'll be notified when all of our reviews drop, and then you can watch them.
And we do this, the couple car review, twice a week. The first one drops on Wednesday.
We put another one out on Saturday.
So make sure to like and subscribe, but also follow on Instagram. It's Motormouth_Andrea to see what's going on with the channel. For me, it's Motormouth_Auto, and the links are below the like button. So Andrea, do you need your pickup truck to go to 60 miles an hour in 3 seconds?
I do not.
I just wonder why there's this race to have such fast and powerful pickup trucks. What you need a pickup truck to do is haul stuff around and tow, and we're going to get into the towing capacity of this a little bit later, but I think a lot of that's just overkill.
Well, you see that with every single electric pickup that is coming out now. It offers a ton of horsepower, a lot of range, and 0 to 60 times are pretty darn quick. But we don't need it. But how many people are going to use this pickup truck as a true pickup truck?
So my line with EVs is they're the plaything of the upper middle class. Scratch that one. This is the plaything of the rich. The price of this R1T, the one that we're driving here, can we tell them what it is?
No, we're not going to tell them. We're going to wait until the hot topic. It's coming up. Someone asked about pricing. And they're not happy about it.
I'm dying to tell you. And what we've come up with is a little fun little game that you can play along at home.
Now, what this does really well is that it handles incredibly well. It is so comfortable. It's got air suspension, so it just eats up those bumps in the road. I mean, it truly is a pleasure to drive. I think that you will really like it a lot. The steering feels really good, and it's super easy to maneuver.
But our biggest complaint about this vehicle is the fact that you don't have the ability to modulate the regen braking. It's basically locked in with one pedal driving, and lift off, Andrea, lift off. and it's like it puts the anchors on.
Yeah.
It makes you feel, or the passengers anyway, a little nauseous.
And honestly, it's just too heavy for me, especially in stop and go traffic. When you get it on the highway and you're cruising and then you release your foot from the accelerator a little bit, it's not as jerky, but in stop and go, I just am not a fan. This is a fully capable vehicle. You can take this off-roading. We didn't get the opportunity to take it off-roading, but there's tons of videos out there and you'll be able to see for yourself that this really is a gem when it comes to capability. This gets up to 14.9 inches of ground clearance. It can go through 3+ feet of water. It can rock crawl at 100% grade. The payload is almost 1,800 pounds, and this thing can tow 11,000 pounds.
So they baked in all of that truck stuff that it needs to do, which is good because they're charged a lot for it. All right, let's get into the way it looks, Andrea. The first time I ever saw a Rivian photograph online, I was like, now somebody kind of gets it. You're gonna have something that looks like a truck, but it looks futuristic at the same time. I think the styling of this is, you know what it is? It's very friendly. It's got a friendly face.
I think it looks fabulous. It has amazing road presence. I like the design of this. Rivian did a wonderful job. You can get 21-inch, 22-inch wheels. We're riding on 20-inch wheels. But you know, you've got a variety there, lots of different colors. I think looks-wise, you nailed it.
Okay, on the outside, it's got some party tricks. Of course, it's got an electric frunk.
Yeah.
You double click the key fob and it opens automatically, and you can double click it again and it closes automatically, so that's really nice. At the back at the tailgate, you can double click the key fob again and the tailgate will go down, or there's a button on the side of the bed to do that. However, it's manual lift up. You got to use some muscles. And in the back, there's actually some cool party features as well. There's 2 electric outlets to use tools. There's also an air compressor outlet if you want to blow things up. Not blow them up, but inflate things. And then there's the gear guard cable that you slide into 2 slots. So say you had a mountain bike back there, you would put the cable around the mountain bike and then put it in place. And then when you hit the key fob, it locks it in place. I asked what the cable was made from. They didn't have an answer. I wonder if it's able to take big snippers. We'll have to find out.
The R1T has a 4.5-foot bed, and with the tailgate down, it extends to 6.9 feet. Lift the bed floor to access 14.3 cubic feet of additional storage, which is weatherproof and lockable with a drain plug. This area can actually fit a full-size spare tire and all the tools needed to change that tire. Rivian has offered some pretty clever storage solutions that total 62 cubic feet of storage between the bed, the front trunk, rear storage bin, under seat compartment, center console, and of course that cool gear tunnel.
But it is very, very useful space. You can put golf clubs in there, all kinds of things, not kids. And then the door, when it comes down, is great for sitting on or maybe standing to get into the bed.
Yeah, for sure. Moving to the interior, the big part about this is the technology. Rivian has its own software system. I'm actually really disappointed because it's not compatible with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I mean, I use my phone every day. It's got all the apps that I want on it. It is, you know, my whole digital experience. When I get in a vehicle, I really want Android Auto.
You're not getting it with this car. It does have a very large screen though, and I like the fact that the instrument cluster behind the steering wheel is separate from the screen. We're seeing a trend to everything being connected. There is no head-up display in this, and this is an expensive vehicle. That's one thing it's missing in this class. But what you do get, Andrea, is you get a removable Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah.
Not sure I'd buy a car just for that, but it's kind of a cool, fun thing. And the layout is very well done. You've got the cup holders that slide out from the center armrest here. But you know what? Overall, the look of it is really quite conventional, and I like that.
It comes with a column shifter. It has some neat features in here. If you want to adjust the steering wheel, you go into the screen and use the rollers here on the steering wheel. Things like the wipers, it has a switch near the steering wheel. but you go into the digital driver display to select what level you want it on, and it's the same with the lights.
I don't really understand why every electric vehicle, well, most electric, I should say, that come out have to do things differently. There's a lot of things in cars that just work, like a volume knob, like a stalk for putting on and off the windshield wipers, or just turning it to switch on the headlamps. So I'm not sure why everything has to be different in an electric car, but that's the world we're living in.
Well, this screen really reminds me of a Tesla. Everything is done in the screen. There are tabs at the bottom that makes it easy to access the features that you want, but you still have to go into the screen to do it. Glass roof is a nice feature to have. It does not open, it is fixed.
And there is no shade. All right, for room, when you get into it, the first thing I noticed is the seats really are kind of firm. There is good leg room and there is plenty of headroom.
It offers 41.4 inches of front row legroom, which is over a couple inches less than the Ford. The R1T second row legroom feels spacious enough at 36.6 inches, but it can't beat the Lightning with 7 inches more space. The Rivian has a front trunk with 11.1 cubic feet of space, and the geared tunnel offers 11.6 cubic feet.
All right, you got some great questions on this one. Shocked? Not.
Time now for questions, coffee, and cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
I'm so intrigued by Rivian trucks. I've got a 2022 F-150 now, so I don't need it for trucking purposes, but I'm a truck guy in general and was thinking about getting one as a daily driver. It seems like it could be a great fit for that purpose, but I'm wondering if it's practical to use day to day.
Well, I think this is the perfect use case scenario. This is for somebody that just likes driving a truck. And a newsflash for a lot of people, you don't actually have to use it for truck stuff to use it as a daily commuter. A lot of people drive around with nothing in the back, so I think as a daily driver, why not?
I love the size of this. It's easy to maneuver. The turning radius is excellent. Great for city driving, easy to parallel park. I think it's an excellent size, and overall, it's quite comfortable.
Except for the regen.
What's the fit and finish like? Beautiful.
It's well done.
Yeah, really well done.
Yeah, they did a really good job.
Yeah.
All the pieces fit together beautifully. I don't see really any faults with the way it's put together.
No.
It uses very nice materials. You're not getting anything like this in a Tesla.
Oh yeah, definitely not in a Tesla. Even the wood here is just absolutely beautiful. This comes with a leatherette interior, which is not surprising for an EV. They're trying to use sustainable materials, and so most electric vehicles don't come with a leather interior. But overall, I think that it's really well laid out. Fit and finish is excellent.
There is no piano black or shiny hard plastic in this cabin.
Nope.
It's satin, aluminum, wood, and I thought it was real leather.
Can you please tell us about their service center network in Canada? When buying a $100,000 car, expect full service, loaner cars, and readily available parts in their local warehouse.
Well, I think you're thinking about buying a high-end car like a Lexus, a BMW, or Mercedes, where they have all of that set up. But this is a fledgling company, and I think they're kind of modeling it after Tesla, right?
Yeah, it's similar. At the beginning, when people started buying these, service wasn't that great, but Rivian has improved that. You know, it's a bit of a learning curve for a brand new company. So you can book service on the Rivian app. They've also launched and improved their whole mobile vehicle network. So if you have a smaller problem, it can be done in your driveway, just like Tesla. And if it's a bigger issue, then they do have service centers available to deal with bigger problems.
How many there are? Not sure.
No.
And now it's time for our hot topic. What's this one, Andrea?
Unnecessarily expensive and over the top, in my opinion. I wish these companies would push the throttle on true consumer level vehicles and aren't just for overly rich people. The average Canadian would never be able to afford this vehicle. I'd love one like many others here, but it will never be in the cards at that price. I don't need 600 horsepower. That is unnecessary.
All right, so we're going to divulge the price of this unit. This is in Canadian dollars, and I thought we'd play a fun little game, Andrea. This is $134,000. Just think about that. $134,000 for a mid-sized pickup truck. I just don't get this. I just don't get it. So we've gone from plaything of the upper middle class to plaything really of the rich that want to drive an electric truck. So this isn't changing the world.
This reminds me of Tesla when they first came out. They brought out the Model X and the Model S. So expensive, right? Not many people could afford them. Let's hope that Rivian follows the same format as Tesla and is able to bring out a couple more models that are less pricey and more people will be able to afford them. We're seeing that with Tesla now.
All right, we'll have to wait and see. I thought this would be a fun little game, Andrea. So we're going to do this in Canadian dollars because we're Canadians, eh? You can tell by the plaid shirt. So this is $134,000. So what I said to Andrea is, what could you buy for $134,000? So I decided I wanted to buy a Toyota Tacoma pickup truck, roughly the same size as this, but TRD Pro is what I chose. And then I got an electric car, a Chevrolet Bolt.
Yeah.
And then I wanted a fun car, and I got a Mazda Miata or an MX-5, the top trim, the GT. And that comes in when you include the $5,000 tax credit I'm going to get on the Chevy Bolt. Exactly to $134,000.
Nice. So I picked the Hyundai Santa Fe plug-in hybrid. I think it'll be great for road trips for us. Lots of space, and it's an all-wheel drive option.
And you get a rebate.
Second vehicle I picked was the BMW i4. That still leaves me with $36,000 Canadian. Guess what I'm buying?
A GTI?
I'm buying the GTI.
Oh, I knew it.
With the manual transmission.
So we didn't talk about this. So there you go. You can have three very capable vehicles for the same price as this.
Yeah.
I just don't get this part of it. I mean, the truck is good. It does what it says on the box, which is good, but I just can't get my head around the price.
I just can't believe how much this reminds me of Tesla. It even has pet mode and camp mode and 5 cameras around the truck for security. Like, it really feels in a way like I'm in a Tesla. And we hear the Cybertruck is coming.
Yeah, I heard that the production of that starts this fall. We've been waiting. We'll have to see. All right, let's get into the charging times and more in our vital stats.
Let's start with pricing. The dual motor model is $98,500 Canadian, $73,000 in the US. Prices tested, we've got the quad motor with the large battery pack, $134,350 Canadian, and just over $95,000 in the US. The Rivian Adventure network of DC fast chargers is growing. They're installing 3,500 plus chargers at approximately 600 sites along popular routes in both Canada and the US. Plus 10,000 level 2 chargers are planned for both countries as well.
The R1T comes with an 11.5 kilowatt onboard charger. In 20 minutes on a fast charger, you'll get 225 kilometers or 140 miles of range. At home on a 240 volt outlet, it'll take 13 hours to charge the R1T. The R1T does not qualify for a federal EV rebate in Canada, but does qualify for the US tax credit. Towing capacity is 11,000 pounds, and the warranty is 5 years, 95,000 kilometers, or 60,000 miles. So you want to buy an electric pickup truck. What else can you buy?
For your consideration, 4 vehicles for you to consider.
Up first is the electric Chevrolet Silverado with up to 754 horsepower and 644 kilometers, 400 miles of EV range. Pricing has not been announced yet. This model should be available sometime in 2024.
The GMC Hummer EV with 1,000 horsepower and over 560 kilometers or 350 miles of range. The price has not been listed.
The Ford F-150 Lightning with up to 580 horsepower and up to 515 kilometers, 320 miles of range. It has a starting price of $79,000.
And the one to watch is the Ram 1500 Rev with 654 horsepower and up to 800 kilometers or 497 miles of range. It should hit dealerships sometime in 24 as a 25 model.
So there are 4 electric pickup trucks for you to consider.
Lightning round. 2 things we like, 2 things we like to see improved.
I think Rivian did a great job with the way this vehicle handles.
And I think it looks cool.
What I'd like to see is a software update on the regen braking. Let me turn it off if I want.
And can I get a bank loan?
A bank loan. Wow, Rivian did a great job with the handling of this pickup truck, but it is way too expensive.